Hey guys, AJ here back with another one for you. So I have a couple of videos on gender studies degrees and how useless they are. Okay, and guys, what kind of idiot, what kind of dolt, what kind of moron majors in gender studies? Straight up, guys. And these 304s and these LDHG TVs and these all go to school and major in gender studies and get all this student loan debt, and then they're all crying about how they have all this debt and they can't make any money. And oftentimes they double down and go to grad school. And if you say, maybe that's not such a good idea, they say,
"How dare you?"
Well, some people are actually shocked that men are not people who take gender studies, right? So, guys, we're going to look at some of the reasons why so few men take gender studies. But before we do, like, subscribe, drop a comment, because it really helps keep this channel going. Guys, check out my second channel, linked in the description, and check out the playlist linked at the end. But guys, actually, before we get into this article, guys, let's jump into the wonderful garbage fire known as TikTok and look at some of the amazing people who you will see in a gender studies class.
Absolutely useless college degrees, part 4, gender studies.
I have a degree in gender studies.
Of course
and do you
you
know
do.
why it's useless? It's not because it can't make me money. It can. I got a job right out of college with my degree in women's studies that made me the same amount of money my sister was making with her master's degree in teaching. I also was offered a full tuition scholarship to multiple different law schools with women's studies on my resume. Not making money is not why the job or the degree is useless. It's useless because people like you who tell me my degree is useless are the same ones who ignore the expertise I learned from my degree. If we made decisions listening to the knowledge of gender studies majors in regards to gender inequality in the country, we would be so much fucking better off. It is such a useful knowledge set. It is so important for us to know how gender affects society and how society affects gender, and that's something I'm a subject matter expert in. But do you think people care what I have to say about it? No. And that's
At least she's honest. At least she realizes that none of us give a damn about what she has to say. And guys, there's a couple things that she said that she thinks are a flex that are not a flex. All right. Number one, she got a job with her useless degree that her sister, who got a useless degree in education, so her sister's a teacher who doesn't make any money, and she says that it's a flex. And with her gender studies degree, she got a job that pays what a teacher makes, which is not much. Okay, clown world. Then she's saying that she got scholarships to law school. Well, dude, you took the LSAT, I'm assuming, and you probably did pretty well. I don't know how, because you're a knucklehead, but guys, I know people that majored in philosophy, that majored in English, that majored in Spanish, that majored in botany. They all did really well in the LSATs, had really good GPAs, and they got scholarships to law school. So knucklehead, that's not a flex. Look at that.
That's why it's useless.
Clown world. It says getting a degree in gender studies is 50% research and 50% trying to find the pronouns of the author you're citing. Oh, Jesus. And guys, this person's hashtags, hashtag finals week, hashtag liberal arts, hashtag transformer, hashtag gender studies, clown world.
So I'm a gender, women's, and sexuality studies major, right? I love it. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes it's a lot to handle. And let me tell you why. In 1 week, one class could be talking about the involuntary sterilization of Indigenous women. Another class will be talking about the criminalization of pregnancy. Another class will be talking about police violence. Another class will be talking about apartheid in South Africa. Another class will be talking about injustice in higher education or inequity. Yeah, try to spend like 60 to 80 hours of your week reading, writing, and talking about these things, because if anybody knows how to do that and stay sane, please tell me, because it's a lot to handle. Thank God spring break is here.
Jesus. You guys, you know who she reminds me of? Who was that big kid from Salute Your Shorts? Who had that weird speech impediment? Right, guys, put in the comments if you remember that. Yeah, the big kid, the overweight kid, right? And guys, this is teaching them this victimhood type of mentality. These are the winners that you're gonna find in a gender studies program. And you wonder why guys aren't there. Hashtags, hashtag college life, hashtag study talk, hashtag LDHGTV, hashtag college student, hashtag gender studies, clown world.
Y'all, after a whole bachelor's degree in women and gender studies, African American studies, and now halfway in my master's program for women's studies again, I will say, trust no motherfucking body. Like, literally, you'll be in all these classes with these professors teaching you about systems of oppression and this and that, and then they'll be the most racist, transphobic, ableist bitches, like, ever. I'm so over this shit. Y'all,
So there you go. This person has all these degrees and all this time being taught how to be a victim, to the point to where, guys, these knuckleheads, they're so have this victimhood type of mentality that they're even after each other. Okay, this person says even their professors that are teaching them about victimhood are victimizing them. Think about that. All of my professors that are teaching me about victimhood are all ableist and racist and all this other stuff. This is how they get indoctrinated, guys, and you wonder why there's no guys there. Guys, hashtag grad school or hashtags, hashtag black TikTok, hashtag LDHDTV, right? Clown world. So here we go, guys. Why do so few men take gender studies courses? There are no men in my gender studies class. Although the lecturer is male, when so many men are engaged in gender debates, this imbalance seems bizarre. He says, it's a good job no one starts a postgraduate degree in gender studies to meet men. My whatever graduate level class at Cambridge contains precisely 0 of them. Apparently, this is anomalous, according to course director Andy Tucker. In the 3 previous years, there have been a quarter to a third of men. Yet, at this year, it's not much better. Out of 85 students on gender studies master's courses, 8 are men. And guys, we all know what kind of guys those are, right? Last year was 5 out of 89. As Dr. Jonathan Dean, an ethicist, a political theory lecturer at Leeds, says, gender studies degrees and women's studies remain overwhelmingly female dominated. When I started in this field, I thought I was the only man doing it. Dude, you are. And guys, let's be honest, right? Hold on, just why is there such a dearth of male students? Right? Especially when there's so many male lecturers teaching gender studies. Because guys, oftentimes, just like these male ethnists, guys, all these gender studies professors and stuff are all guys who have no game. They're soy boys, and they're trying to weasel their way into the draws, okay? All these guys are all fake, okay? They're fake, they don't honestly believe this stuff, and they're beta. Look at that. This imbalance comes as more men than ever, among my friends at least, seem involved or interested in gender debates. Yes, gender debates, but we don't want to go into the belly of the beast, guys. At Cambridge, talks with the gender angle are always packed nearly half with men. So whether it's a female philosopher student arguing that patriarchy still oppresses women, or a university keynote debate on differences between male and female brains. So the problem is that not that men aren't interested, but for many, a fear of feminism and its practitioners persists, and that's what needs to change. One man that I spoke to, an international relations PhD student, well, he's obviously beta, because what can you do with a PhD in international relations, right? Said, I do not recognize gender studies as being a very important discipline. I do think that women's rights are important, but I think in courses like these, they're too critical of what they call male-dominated reality. Facts. It means, guys, if you're in an ethnicist gender studies class, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, because everything is your fault. How can you pay to go and sit through a class where you are the representation of everything wrong? Clown world. That would be like being in a geometry class and you have this guy's the wrong answer to every single problem stuck on your forehead. Another student echoed, I wouldn't take gender studies because I'm a man and I would seem gay. Look at that. There would be so many different assumptions about me. I would have trouble finding a woman. Look at that. It seems to, so in reality, men when present are greatly valued in gender studies courses, guys.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Don't believe that crap, dude. Don't believe it. She says, men when present are greatly valued in gender studies core courses, not loathed as a living, breathing patriarch. Guys, that's trash. Guys, way back in the day, 21-year-old AJ took a gender roles in society class my junior year. Because it was an easy A. This is before gender studies was an actual thing. We had this weird kind of wokey woke professor before I knew what a wokey woke professor was. It was an easy A. It was an easy class, but it was one of those things where I'm like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? This is weird. And dude, you do stick out, right? Because everything, all the examples of all this is dudes acting up and all these girls going, You know what I'm saying? It seems to me that the women students are extraordinarily protective of the minority of men in the seminar group. Guys, that is BS, and you know it. You know it. Look at that. Most of the dean's men seem to be on board or sympathetic to feminism because they're all simps, right? But feminism isn't the only topic in gender studies. Just as important are masculinities, because of course we want a bunch of chicks telling us all about masculinity, don't we, guys? And of course, just as important are masculinities, courses, queer theory. Please. Look at that. Look at that. Tucker Cambridge seems relaxed by this year's no-show from men. He's relaxed because he's smashing all the chicks, guys. This one professor, I'm the understanding guy. Men are, actually, this is England. Hello, I'm the understanding guy. I'm not one of them toxic males. I like extra sugar in my tea. Look at that. Look at that. It's important that those on course can engage with a range of theories, which includes masculinities, and this can be taught successfully whether or not there are men in the group. There it is, guys. So they're going to talk about us men, whether we're there or not. Perhaps, she says, but I'm more inclined to agree with the geography student who said to me, at some point, men have to get involved or the whole thing will collapse. Facts, guys. They need us. They need us or the house of cards is going to collapse because more and more men are walking away. This is indicative of society as a whole. And cook with me, guys. Gender studies, because so many people are paying exorbitant amounts of money for tuition that they can have these moronic, idiotic, and stupid programs, okay? They're in a time of abundance, right? Just like society. All these LDHD TV theories and all this FNS theories can function because we have an abundance, okay? But guys, when the ish hits the fan and there's another round of the cough or some type of conflict or whatever, all this stuff is going away because men, we can't work based on theory. We can't work just based on abundance. We have to get stuff done. And the moment men start walking away en masse, everything crumbles. All right, you guys, let me know in the comments if you ever had to deal with some broad who was some gender studies chick. Or if you accidentally ended up in a gender studies class. Or if anyone in your family did this. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you guys. Check out the playlist. I'm out of here, guys. Have a good one.